Providence, Rhode Island. Welcome to ParentCast, a podcast dedicated to new parents, new babies, and their new lives together. So listen and relax because it's free, it's funny, and it's a lot better than therapy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 27 of ParentCast. I'm your host, Mary Larson.
My name's Blake, and I'm glad to be back. Glad. I'm just happy to talk about parenting stuff.
That's right.
It's been a long time. We had a little comeback there for a little bit, and now we're back again.
And we've been busy parenting, actually.
And why have we been so busy parenting, my love?
Because we have a newborn baby girl named Felicity.
Hi-yo!
Yay! Yeah, Felicity was born, and between my being incredibly sick, like literally sick beyond belief throughout my entire pregnancy, and then just having a newborn, it's been a little hard for us to record. But now we're back, and we're very excited about it. And we're so excited about today's topic because it's about new dads. And Blake is a second-time new dad right now.
That's right. And I thought it'd be fun to... I know we had promised in the last episode to talk about Youre A New Dad, but now it's even more... the part of my essence is being a new dad yet again. So I get to relive all of the things that I got a chance to experience and go through with our first child, Reese. And it's been weird. You know what I mean? It's been different with the second kid. And getting back to all the crying and the diapers every 15 freaking minutes and
the blowouts, like every outfit you're like, oh, this was a cute outfit. Oh, it was a cute outfit before you pooped in it.
So it's kind of nice to be back to this. And she's so small and she's so little. As a matter of fact, she's sitting in Mary's arms right now as we podcast.
So if you hear her coo or possibly cry, I apologize, but for those of you who have a child already, you understand the pain. You know that the struggle is real.
But again, I want to reiterate this fact. I'm glad that we're back to podcasting about parenting again. We like we said, we did have to take a little bit of a break there. And I felt like our message was kind of lost in the abyss for a little bit. And our message ultimately is, man, parenting is great, but sometimes it sucks too. And we have to be truthful about it. We got to let people know that there are great things about it, but there are really stupid things about it too that you got to get through. That you have to be a teammate with your spouse, and you got to push through it. And that's what we're all about here. We always kid around, it's free, it's funny, it's better than therapy. But that's what this place is, And what are we going to do here, Why not?
Well, I think after that, it was like a sermon. A good hey guys, we're all here together. Let's go and do good for the world. That, right now, my friends, is our call into the judgment-free zone.
Boom.
So my judgment-free zone is that we are attempting, really huge air quotes, attempting potty training our 2.5-year-old son.
Attempting is a good word.
And I mean, really, I get really excited because all of my friends who have girls, they're like, oh, we're in practice panties. We're just wearing nothing as panties. She's just, if she goes, she goes, and she learns, moo ha ha ha. And it's in 3 days, their kids, properly using the potty. So everyone's been asking me, oh, your son's 2, are you starting? And the pediatrician told us, just stay away from potty training. You're having a new baby. Don't add another thing to your plate. But Reese has recently been saying poop. And it correlates with a full poopy diaper generally. So I thought, wow, this is the sign. This is the sign all the parenting books tell you. That if your child is acknowledging they're going to the bathroom or that they want to go potty, then do it. So I went out and I bought a potty. I even bought a potty seat. I mean, I've got options, guys. It never works. Okay, I'm even bribing with marshmallows. So we now tell Reese, sit on the toilet and go.
And he does it.
He does it, but nothing happens. I've even used Mickey Mouse, a show of Mickey Mouse, you can watch. Within 30 minutes, you think he'd pee. Nope. I pushed it so far today that I gave him an hour of television. Granted, I had the newborn in my arms. It was the witching hours. You got to do what you got to do. But I'm having him on the potty. and nothing happened. Nothing happened.
I think he only sits on the potty now just so he can have marshmallows and Mickey.
That's it.
And some kippa thrown in there once in a while, too.
Soon after, after the hour of him not going, we just diaper him back up. And Blake, what was in his diaper when you put him in his PJs?
Just pee. That's it.
But still, pee. There was pee. And that means there was pee in his body.
And he just didn't want to let it out.
No.
Little dink. He's holding it back on us just because.
So our judgment free is that, and probably many of you have suffered from this. I've bribed my kid with marshmallows and Mickey, and nothing's in our toilet.
When are we supposed to start the potty thing? Because I got to tell you, I am mortified about this whole thing. I feel like I'm going to give my kid a tick. Like he's going to end up like the guy in King's Speech.
This just means that we need to do a ParentCast episode on it because I don't know. I just really hope that he learns how to go potty before he's 10.
That's a really good idea. If any of you have any advice for us on how to potty train our kid,
send it to us
and we'll do an episode about it. We'll give you full credit. How's that sound? We'll say it was an episode by you. You're the executive producer of that particular episode. Why not? I'll go with that.
That's my judgment free. I let my kid watch an hour of Mickey and he ate 3 marshmallows. And there was no pee in the potty.
Or poop.
Or
nothing. I even would have done with lint.
Nothing, guys.
Nothing. All right, let's get into the show. So, as we were saying earlier, today's show is about the fact that you are a new dad, or you, the wife, or the baby mama is giving this episode to your spouse or your baby daddy, and you want to let them know that even though they're a new dad, everything's gonna be okay. And I can't tell you how much of a smash hit our episode was. You're a brand new mom, and everything's gonna be okay. How many people emailed me and Mary about that episode, and how they were like, "Thank you." Thank you so much. I'm not crazy. I'm not insane.
You're not. This is just called being a parent.
And it is what it is. And please, if you haven't gotten a chance to go listen to that quite yet, go back. I think it's episode 25 and listen to You're a Brand New Mom and Everything's Going to Be Okay. There's a lot of great advice in there, and people absolutely loved it. But for now, my darling, my love, my super mom, my super woman of a wife, you want to know what the number one thing is I actually recommend?
What?
For a brand new parent?
Do tell. A brand new dad.
Oh, brand new dad. The first thing I recommend is that you're going to have no freaking idea what to do.
Oh.
You're going to have no idea what to do.
No.
And you know what? That's okay. That's really okay. You're not supposed to know, especially when it's your first kid. You don't. The kid makes sounds all day. Every sound is a sure sign of death.
Mm-hmm.
He's gurgling and he's farting and he's pooping and he's like grunting and how do you even handle that? What do you do to stop a crying child that's been crying now for 20 minutes? What do you do?
What do we do in our house? I will tell you, we bounce in a yoga ball.
That's straight up right.
We're letting you know. I think the crux of the problem is that pregnancy lasts forever, and the woman who's pregnant takes her time reading the pregnancy books. All right, I'm at week 26. I should be eating almonds. I should be doing this kind of yoga move, and the baby can be doing XYZ. And you're really on top of your A game with your pregnancy. You know the size fruit that your child is. You got all this stuff. You might even be planning for labor very well. But what I really wish I'd done during my pregnancy was to have me and Blake read parenting books.
Well, I read the parenting books.
No, but I mean during the pregnancy. Think about it. The pregnancy is 9-10 months long.
All right, I understand.
And had we spent those 9-10 months just reading about like this could happen, or here are different cries, like had we watched that Oprah video, or had we watched Happiest Baby on the Block, things like that. These great resources that are out there. The Oprah video, by the way, Oprah Baby Whisperer. Google that. Watch it. You're welcome. You don't know what's going on. And then even if you did read the books, your kid's going to be a million times different than what the books even said.
Yeah, so it's like it's all a bunch of nonsense. And people are going to give you all these different kinds of advice and everything. They're going to tell you exactly how to parent your kid. And again, even though they're telling you how to parent your kid, it still ain't going to work. The only thing that works is trial and error.
Yes.
Really. That's the end of it. I could sit here and tell you that your kid's going to have green poop and you're going to have to wipe it 3 times a day. And this is how you soothe them. And that only works for my kid. So
The green poop.
yeah, I know, right? So ultimately, you're going to have no idea what to do, and that's okay. You should accept that. Work with your spouse on what you think works best for your kid. Don't listen to everybody else and have every idea that you have to worry about. Just do what you got to do. Number 2, as soon as your spouse is ready, get her out of the house. Get her out.
Get her where?
Get her out. I don't care. You don't got to go home, but you can't stay here. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
She was already home.
Well, you know, that's a valid point. Never mind.
I know.
Sorry. But either way, just get her out of the house. Go make her go for a walk for 20 minutes. Go get tacos. Go, I don't know, whatever your wife likes or whatever your spouse likes, go make them do it. Get out of the house. Have their best friend. Take them out for a drink.
What about the baby?
You keep the baby. Oh. See, there you go. There you go. You got to get your spouse out of their domain.
And even if they're not ready to leave without the baby, because I've been going out a lot more with this baby and trying to get her to understand a bottle. She's not quite there yet. But my son, it took me a long time. My labor was really hard. I think I just sat on the couch for, like 3 or 4 weeks straight just because I was so traumatized by what had happened. And I at least would go sit on my porch. And I would see people walk by and I felt like a member of society. Yes, I was in 5-day-old yoga pants and I was
eating breast milk everywhere.
And I'm not going to lie, guys, the thing that I ate, I carried around this huge, those buckets of pretzels?
I forgot about that.
Those really big plastic buckets of pretzels. I bought one of those at
like you get them at BJ's or whatever.
Yeah. And I just carried that around and ate out of that. That was like my main meal was pretzels. So, but just to be able to sit on the porch, or we did when they're really little babies and they're in their car seats, you can take them to a restaurant. You could take them for a walk, but to get out of your house and off of that couch when they're physically able, it is a sanity saver.
But in my opinion, the idea is to get them away from the baby, because you get stuck with this child and they're like a leech and they suck the life out of you, and it's the truth. It's really the truth. And hopefully your spouse will get you out of the house too eventually. I mean, like I just saw Ant-Man the other day with a couple of my buddies, and it was great. And Mary said, please go get out now. Like, because you got to be an adult. You got to be you. You got to go do, and even if it's for an hour or two to go see Ant-Man or whatever, please get out of the house.
And for those of you who are breastfeeding or who are really nervous to leave the baby, if you feed the baby and your baby's not necessarily in a growth spurt, they can last 2 or 3 hours without being fed by you. I mean, that's kind of their shtick. So get out, go be you, go get a pedicure, just go for a walk, go get an ice cream cone. I don't care what it is, but just go, especially if you have a baby who is crying a lot. Go just somewhere quiet.
Number 3. Stay the hell away from minivans.
I totally disagree with this one.
Now, this is exactly why I put it in here, because the minivan is the worst possible invention by any human ever.
No, it's actually an amazing invention.
No,
but there's
it's not.
Now
And
a
I'll tell you why.
societal connotation.
And I'll tell you why. Who cares about the societal connotation?
You do. You fall for it.
No, I don't fall for nothing. That car sucks.
No.
All right.
Bring it.
All right.
Bring it on.
It's got a
minivan
whole
debate right here.
It's got a whole bunch of things that are really cool about it, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. It's got like a bunch of pots that rock. Right?
Yes.
It's got like all the technology packages.
You can open the door with a click of a button.
Great. So then the doors are low so the kids can get in on their own. It's easy. You got a lot of space. There's a cooler in some of them, and like in the center console, so that you can put the kids' drinks in there. You got the cameras.
You got extra captain chairs.
You got the captain chairs.
Hit each other.
Yep. And then you got the DVD players, and you got the outlets everywhere. You got 40,000 cup holders everywhere. And they run like a mother.
They don't die.
As long as you just take care of it at a minimal level, they just keep going.
Your kids can actually drive them when they are able to drive, because they will hold up that well.
And they probably keep their resale value too, because people want minivans. But the problem is, the sum of all these parts make a really stupid vehicle. They're ugly, and they are the white flag. They are the white flag of any individualism. at all that you have. Now you're just part of the mess. You're part of the Cheerios in the hair, half-eaten peanut butter and jelly sandwich, graham cracker smelling.
You're describing my life. I actually just ate a graham cracker. Is that what you're saying?
No, but you know what I mean. Like, when you get, when you go into a house and it smells like graham crackers, but it ain't graham crackers. It's like pee and diapers and stuff.
No, it's just kids.
And I'm telling you that when you go into a place and it smells like graham crackers and there ain't no graham crackers around, you are near kids that are like dirty and smelly.
Well, I am cool with the minivan crew, so if you are a new dad and you're like, I kind of think I do want a minivan.
Do your best to stay away from the minivan, and I'll tell you why. Because you can get an SUV and still get half the stuff and keep your individuality.
They do not have coolers, and they do not have.
You can get a cooler and put it in the car. Oof. And then get the DVDs, like the little DVD screens at Best Buy for $20.
Too much work.
$20. You put it on the back of the back of the chair. Boom, done. Thank you very much. And they can watch 2 different movies if you have multiple kids.
Well, we are at least here to tell you that we had our first child without a minivan.
That's right.
And now we're going to be having our second child without a minivan.
No minivans in this house.
So it can be done if you do not want to be a minivan family. However, if you see the benefits to minivans like me, go for it.
No, there are no benefits.
I can't open the SUV with a button.
It's a life-sucking piece of crap. That's what it is.
Disagree.
Number 4, you need to have answers. You need to have answers for everything, all of life's mysteries.
Give me an example.
It's just like, like how do you plumb this into the toilet, or how do you, I don't know, what is the sun made out of? You need to have life's answers.
Oh, okay.
And even if you have to make them up.
So you're saying for the kid,
not for the kid, but just in general. Like, people around you are going to be like asking you these questions, and eventually, yes, the kid will ask you all these questions, and you need to have answers. And you gotta make sure that you know what you sound like you're talking about at the very least, because you're a dad. Dad's got to have answers now.
I'm totally confused by this one.
Why?
I don't even know what answers you're talking about.
Answers to all of life's mysteries.
Oh, because you're a dad, you need to sound...
You got to sound like you know what you're talking about. You got to sound like a superhero.
So give me an example of a question that someone asked you that you needed to have an answer for.
I don't really have one right now. I got nothing.
See? You don't... I just asked you a question, and you don't even have an answer.
Why is the sky blue? Why is the sky blue? Well, I'll tell you why the sky is blue. You want to know why the sky is blue?
Why?
It's how the light refracts off of the earth, and then it gets interpreted by your eye, and then gets reinterpreted into your brain, and then output.
So what does that have to do with you being a new dad?
I don't know. I just made that up. I just totally made that up, but it made you believe that I was right, because I'm a dad. I can do that now. I got that power.
Oh, see, moms get mom brain, so we just get to go, I don't know. I learned it in 4th grade, and I forgot it.
It's kind of like old guy strength. It's kind of like old guy strength.
Okay.
You got to develop this over years. So like when you're like 50 and you get into a fight, you have somehow this unbelievable, uncanny ability to fight other people because you have old guy strength.
Okay.
You can like lift stuff and like punch people out.
Guys get to have so much cooler things. Us women get to look forward to mom brain and menopause. You guys get to make stuff up, and you get wicked strong. God, being a woman sucks.
No, just being a guy rules. No, you don't think so? No. Number 5. Any ideas that you have about your kid, write them down. Write down what you want your kid to be. And put it up in his room or her room or in the kitchen or whatever. If you really believe in family values, if you really believe that your kid can be a nerd, if like you just have this idea that I want my kid to be Indiana Jones. I want him to learn Greek, and I want him to learn Latin, and I want him to love history, or I want him to be a left-handed pitcher or a relief pitcher in the Major League Baseball. Write that down so that every time you look at your child, you can reiterate that fact to you, and it kind of gets into your kid. Babies and like toddlers, they really soak this stuff in. They soak in how you act. Mm-hmm. And they're way smarter than what we give them credit for.
Oh, yeah. Their brains are firing at a speed that they will never fire again. I mean, we were the best learners, and we didn't even know it back then.
Mm-hmm. So when you hang that poster, you can look up during your lowest, most tired moment, and it will be a reminder to you of why you had him or her in the first place. What kind of person that he or she will grow up to be, and what kind of dad that you want to become in the end. Because ultimately, you forge your child's life, and he will live it in the way that you facilitate that life. My favorite quote, I did the same exact board for our son, Reese. And my favorite quote on the board, you want to know what it is?
Tell me.
May the force be with you always. Now, is that nerdy? Is there really the force? Of course not. But it's the idea of the force. It's the idea, the notion that we're all connected and that we have the ability to make things better in our lives by using the force. How cool is that? It's such a great notion for a kid to live by. Don't you think?
Oh, I do. I totally do. You know when people have those sticky words, you can get them on Etsy or at Target, but they have like live, love, laugh, or it might be a quote from the Bible, or for me, it was a quote from Albus Dumbledore above my kid's bed talking about dreams. In dreams, we enter a world that is our own. I forgot some kind of an adjective. There's an adjective in the middle of that, but I forgot. Nonetheless, if you wanted to even do something like that, get your favorite quote and have someone on Etsy make it, but have it be positive, because your brain is going to be fried. But if you're walking into your child's room and you see that, if you've written it down, it could even be on a sticky note, like a Post-it note above their changing table.
Yep.
And it just becomes your mantra, something that you want them to grow up feeling or to make you positive, because when you see those words, it's kind of like a vision board. Now work with me, Blake.
Oh,
I know
God,
you don't
I
believe
hate
in vision boards,
Vision
but
boards suck.
that's what you created. You created a man vision board. You created something that you want to be as a dad and you want our child to be.
Yep.
So you made like the man board.
The mansion board.
I don't even know.
Number 6. This is one of my favorite quotes from The Godfather. You ready for it?
Bring it.
A man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man. Now, I know I just told you to get your wife out of the house.
Bye.
I just did. I totally agree. But the idea of a man being with his family is paramount. Go do the things that you need to do with your wife and your newborn child. If your wife wants to go blueberry picking with the kid, even though the kid ain't gonna get nothing out of it, go blueberry picking with your family, right? If your wife wants to, I don't know, go for a walk on the main street and go get ice cream, go get the ice cream. Now it's gonna suck, and I'll tell you why. It's gonna suck because you're gonna be tired. You're gonna have been worked all day probably. All you're gonna want to do is sleep. But I'm telling you, you need to get off your butt and spend time with your family, because in the end, they make you a better man. They make you more. They make you more of a man by spending time with them.
Well, and I'll tell you this. I mean, I've heard this fact said by so many people that these early years when you're a new parent and you have that baby, or maybe you have a couple of kids and they're really young, they're the hardest of your life. You're not making the kind of money you want to make.
Yep.
The kids keep you up all night. You might be at ends with each other occasionally as spouses, as partners in this whole parenting thing. Maybe you're doing it alone. Whatever it is, it can get really, really tough because you've got someone who's crying and they can't explain why they're crying. You're tired. You're trying to figure out life, but everyone says it's so tough, but it's some of the best moments you'll ever have in your life. So when you do spend that time, whether it's sitting on your couch eating peanut butter and jellies and, just laughing together, or going blueberry picking, or going to get ice cream, my big tip to you is to take a picture. If you're like, this is actually a nice moment. Nobody's screaming. Wow, we're like smiling. This is fantastic. We're at least outdoors. Take a picture on your phone. My son had colic, and it was a really, really, really tough year for us. It was tough on our marriage. It was tough on me. It was tough on everybody. But I took pictures whenever there was a good moment, and I'm so happy that I did, because I made a book And it looks like we had a pretty good year.
Yeah.
And I know that we did. We had those moments. In the heat of the moment of screaming, I was like, oh my God, having a baby is so tough. This is terrible. But I could look back on my phone and I could see a picture on my locked screen of my kids smiling or my husband holding Reese as we went out for ice cream. And I was like, oh yeah, that was nice.
I agree.
Having a kid's kind of cool after all. I can make it through this. So spend the time and then make those memories.
Number 7, get Netflix or a proper equivalent like Hulu or Amazon Prime or whatever, but you need it. And I know I just said go blueberry picking. I agree. But there are going to come times, at least definitely within the first 3 months, where the baby's asleep, you're too tired to even really speak to your spouse. And you're just like, oh my God, I need to do something. I can't stare at a blank wall all day. I don't want to watch TV. I need something. And Netflix will save your life. When we had Reese for the first time, we pounded through The Americans. All we did was just watch The Americans. I don't even remember what happened in the first season necessarily, but I'll tell you, it got me through. It kept my sanity a little bit.
And now with Felicity, we're even more exhausted. So we can't do a full hour-long show. So we only can make it get through the 23-minute episodes of Parks and Rec. But Netflix still has our back.
But you know what? The funny thing is, especially if you like TV or if you like watching movies or whatever, and if your spouse likes them too, it's such a godsend because it gets you off of the baby train for a little bit. It gives you something else to talk about other than, oh God, I'm so tired. Or, oh God, did we get the milk ready? Or, oh God, did we get the food? Or, oh God, is that the baby crying? Or, what are we going to do with this baby tomorrow? You turn your brain off for a little bit. And I cannot stress to you how important that is, especially if your baby has something like colic. You need something to get off of all of that crap and just enjoy.
Watching any kind of a show, of course, you're going to be laying down or sitting down. It's my favorite time to do skin-to-skin contact, which is great for your baby. So
even if you're a guy, skin-to-skin contact still works very well. It still is. It's not as good as a mom's skin-to-skin, but as a dad, I loved feeling my son up against my chest, feeling him breathe and feeling him squirm a little bit and whine a little bit. It was warm and it made me really connect with my child. Yes, I'm watching TV, I'm watching Netflix as this is happening, but I still have like this subconscious bond with him.
Yeah.
And it was so special. And now I get a chance to do that again with my daughter, and it's even better. But yeah, get Netflix, and trust me, it will save your life and it will keep your sanity. Number 8, don't go full dad. Don't go full dad.
What's full dad? You are a full dad.
All right. I'm not full dad. No. Because if I was full dad, I'd have a minivan.
Oh, okay.
Listen, it's very easy to fall into a rhythm of focusing your entire life on nothing but the baby. And of course, it's understandable. You are in complete charge of another human, and you have no idea how to handle him or her. Listen, it's very easy to fall into this soul-sucking trap. You can lose your identity as an adult. You can lose your identity as yourself. And you can devolve into only, in quotes, dad. Like you get like the paper in the front door, in your underwear, you fall asleep on the recliner with your hand down your unbuttoned pants after dinner, you tuck your sports jersey into your jeans. You just become that guy.
I don't even know what any of that stuff means.
Well, this is for guys. And
okay.
Guys know you don't tuck your jersey into your jeans.
Okay.
Because that's just weird. Like, what are you doing, right?
I don't know. You're a dude.
Listen, listen. You don't want to become full dad. You got to maintain some of your masculinity. One of my great fun things to do as a man was to just get out or go watch like Die Hard or call my buddies and be like, listen, I need a couple beers. So while my wife has the baby, I got to go do man stuff Just talk about fantasy baseball or whatever. Don't allow yourself to just be fully encompassed by this baby because you're going to lose yourself. And a lot of these things here is about maintaining your identity. You have to keep that in mind. You can't just wrap yourself around this little being. Totally. You need yourself still a little bit.
I agree.
Number 8. When you have the baby, stay home with the baby and schedule all of your visitors. Like, this is like as soon as the baby comes out and people are going to want to come visit and whatever, everything has to go through you. Do not let anybody call your spouse. Don't let it happen. She doesn't need it, especially if she's breastfeeding. Trust me, she doesn't want to deal with any of the people that, like, your overbearing family or her family who just, like, doesn't care, like, or the friends or whatever. All of it has to go through you. And trust me, if people love you and they care about you and they care about that child, they will come visit you. And you need to have a schedule. And it sounds weird, but you need to do it. Like, I remember when we did this, when we had Reese, everybody wanted to come see him because it was our first child. And literally you had to put a schedule up on the front door and say, okay, at 2:00, Aunt Janie is coming. And then at 4:00, best friend Eric is coming. And then at 6:00, best friend Julie is coming, and she's going to help us do the dishes. And they have their window, and then they leave. Because if you don't do this, your baby and your wife will be overwhelmed.
Overstimulated.
Yeah. So you need to schedule that out. I mean, as a mom, does that work for you?
Oh my gosh, so much so. Mm-hmm. And I like that it's not me because I have enough text message things going on. Plus, I lose my phone. I don't even know where it is half of the time because I focus on carrying the baby. So definitely having some help in the scheduling department. And if the mother is a social person, have those people come over. If she's overwhelmed, judge it and say, you know what? Not tonight, guys. Not tonight.
And you it sounds cheesy, but you kind of have to be the guard dog. You got to go out there and you got to make sure that your wife is taken care of, or your spouse or whatever, your girlfriend, whoever, I don't know. But you got to make sure that she understands that you're protecting her. And you need to protect that baby. And you got to get this in your brain. It's not all your wife that is doing all of the work. You need to do some work too. And the best way you can help her out is by scheduling visitors. Number 9. This kind of goes along with that. Even though you're scheduling visitors, you are never going to do as much as the mother. It's never going to happen.
Why?
It's never going to happen. I'll tell you why. For guys, this is a huge, huge mental hurdle. Mom carried him, she birthed him, and is the sole source of his nourishment, especially if breastfeeding. She has a far greater connection to that baby than you, and that is okay. It's hard for guys to connect to their newborn because they're so dependent on the mom. And women, let's just be honest, they have better instincts as a parent in the immediate, like as soon as the baby is born, than a dad does. They just do. They have better instincts. They've read the books. They've done all this stuff. Not to say that guys haven't done that, but I feel like in my experience, you got it. My wife, you got it a lot more than I did.
Oh, look at me. I did not feel like I had it, but thanks.
But listen, she's going to have the connection, and it's okay. She's supposed to have that connection. You don't have it yet. So don't get frustrated or lazy. What you need to do is you just need to work together with your spouse and agree on a plan on how to best help her out the best way that you can. You don't want to be that douchebag guy that makes his wife do everything emotionally or physically. If mom and baby are up, so are you. Change the diapers, bottle feed when the kid is ready, do the baths, all that crap. You need to do those things. But I wanted to mention this too, and you may not like this, and Mary, you may not like this, but it's the truth. Even if you do all of those things, guys, even if you do all the diapers and you do all of that crap, like Mary and I have a deal. She's in charge of what goes into the baby. I'm in charge of what comes out of the baby. So I do all the diapers. So even if you do all these things, you still, in the eyes of the woman, probably won't be doing enough. Your wife realizes that that you don't do as much as she does, and she has no problem throwing her weight around if need be. So if you're having a good time without her and you're not paying full attention to the baby, watching football or playing PS4 or whatever, you can be sure as hell that can you burp the baby is definitely coming your way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, can you hold the baby for right now?
I do that all the time.
I know you do. It drives me insane.
Yep. Because I've been dealing with this baby for a couple of hours, and then you come home and you're like, I want to play on Twitter. I rest my brain.
And listen, I get it.
Watch some Netflix.
Totally.
It's true.
Totally get it.
He's totally right, guys. I see him, and I'm like,
Nope, you're going to hold the baby for 5 minutes.
Yep, because I don't want to pee.
And it happens. And yes, this happens. And yes, it's a pain in the ass to always feel insecure about how much you're doing, and is she worried about how much I'm doing, and is she watching me? You're damn right she's watching you, and you're damn right you're going to get some stuff thrown your way. But don't be such a pansy. Just accept it. Do your best. Help her out as much as possible. And you avoid arguments as much as you can. That's all you got to do.
Yep.
Just do the stuff. And it's going to suck, but just do the stuff. Is this a reasonable plan, my darling?
Is it going to last forever?
No.
The answer is no.
No, it won't. It definitely won't. It definitely won't last forever. You have degrees of it to some extent, but it won't last forever.
So don't worry.
Speaking of arguments.
Uh-oh.
Number 10.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Arguments are inevitable.
Oh, they are.
They're going to happen. And they suck. Especially when it's about the kid. Or when you have the kid and the kid's awake and he's crying and you're arguing and all that other... It sucks. But it really does happen. Even if you are part of one of those couples, like those couples that I absolutely can't stand, when they say, oh, we never argue.
Shut up.
We never argue because we're so in love. I promise you that idea of never arguing because you're so in love is going to be gone very, very quickly. Both of you guys are under a lot of pressure to keep that baby alive. And it's a lot harder job than you could ever imagine. I promise you, it is super hard. And what's worse is that you're going to be both super tired and even more sensitive towards each other. So she'll talk about something ridiculous, like how you didn't match the baby's mittens to his hat, or nag you about the endless honey-do list. And of course, you're going to want to snap back because she's yelled out to you so many times that you can't even possibly tolerate the sound of your own name anymore. Never mind her screeching freaking voice. I hate my name now.
Blake.
Yes.
Blake,
can you do me a favor?
Blake,
do this.
Blake,
do that. Oh, my goodness gracious. But for the love of the gods, please try to avoid arguments the best that you can. Because especially about those arguments like who got more sleep or who does the most or who does it best, I promise you, no matter what you do or no matter what happens, you're never going to win any of these arguments. In fact, there is no winner of these arguments. It just exacerbates the issue even more. So when she says, when I hear Blake, 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 go get me pickles and ice cream, or Blake, do this, I just suck it up and I do it. I suck it up and I do it because that's what I got to do. I got to be an adult.
You know, we haven't had any of these arguments this go around.
Because I do everything.
Yeah. And I really think it's because you don't do everything.
No, everything you ask me to do, for the most part, I do.
Yeah. That's
what I'm saying.
And are we happier this time?
No, you're happier this time, which means less arguments. So I'll be
Look
fine
at us,
with
guys. We have a newborn and we're laughing.
It's possible. Trust me.
Just do what she says.
Number 11.
Number
11. There are some really, really freaking important things in bringing up a newborn. You want to know what they are?
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
baby
some really,
gear.
really important items.
Tell me.
And you need to get these items. Number 1 is a rock and play.
What is a rock and play for those who don't know?
A rock and play is like this little bassinet that rocks back and forth. And it's really, really, really nice because you can rock your kid manually while they're in the bassinet, and it will literally rock them to sleep. I did that today at dinner. I rocked my kid to sleep.
You can use it as a bassinet sometimes, like by your bed. It's really light, so if you need to move it from room to room, if you want to have your baby in the kitchen, you don't have somewhere to put your baby, just bring the rock and play in. You want to go outside and watch the people on the porch, bring your rock and play.
Yep. Number 2, get a Wubba Nub.
A Wubba what?
A Wubba Nub.
A nub of what?
A Wubba Nub is this binky or pacifier, and it has a stuffed animal attached to the end of it. And the Wubba Nub is great because, number 1, it's a pacifier, and kids love pacifiers, especially those who need help to fall asleep. And the other great thing about it, too, is that the little stuffed animal, the little like Beanie Baby, let's call it that way, for those of you who can age themselves with Beanie Babies.
It's like that size.
It's that size, and it weighs the pacifier down. So if your toddler, or if your newborn or your infant or whatever spits the thing out, it's the Beanie Baby will weigh it down right on their chest. It's not going to fall off.
You can also swaddle the little stuffed animal into their swaddles.
Correct.
So that way when they spit it out, it just stays once again near their face. So babies actually are able to put the pacifier back in their mouth just by moving their face around
with no help from you.
The pacifier going into the bottom of the car seat or, God forbid, falling on the floor. Mm-hmm. Because the little stuffed animal weights it down.
Number 3, speaking of swaddles, the next thing you need is a Swaddle Me Swaddle.
Now that is its name, Swaddle Me.
Swaddle Me.
It's by Summer Infant.
And they are so freaking awesome. They're awesome because you have the swaddles, like the normal swaddles that they teach you how to use at the hospital, right? Mm-hmm. The white ones with the blue and the red and all that crap, which are fine if you know how to swaddle, number 1. And number 2, if you swaddle well.
Yeah, and if you swaddle like a straight, real newborn, like doesn't want to move and won't try to wrestle out.
Correct. But the Swaddle Me swaddles are a swaddle with Velcro. And they're not like, you don't have to fold nothing. You don't got to do any of that crap. All you got to do is just insert your kid and then Velcro their arms together. It's like a straitjacket.
It's like Cliff Notes.
It really is.
It is totally dummy-proof. Swaddle Me also, you can do it on hot days so that you don't actually swaddle the legs in it. Mm-hmm. So if your kid's hot and you don't want their whole body to be swaddled, no problem.
Yep.
And they also have often a little like cut on the bottom of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you could swaddle the kid in a car seat. My child will have that, I think it's called a Moro reflex, where they like, they throw their hands in the air.
Yep.
And
like you just don't care.
Yeah, I was singing that in my
there
head
you
too.
Go. I got you.
But this allows you to put the child into the car seat, totally be buckled in, safe and sound, but can still be swaddled,
That's
have the hand swaddled down. So Swaddle Me by Summer Infant.
And the last thing of the 4 most important things you need for a newborn is this, a noise machine. Go get yourself a noise machine that has a lot of white noise or whatever sound that you favor. That doesn't really matter. But get a white noise machine because this is all part of getting them to sleep. Sleep is so freaking important for you as a new dad. Not only just for you to sleep, but for your baby. Your newborn literally has to sleep between, 18 and 20 hours for the day?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Like, they need to sleep. They can be up and feed and poop and be up for like 45 minutes, and then they need to go back to sleep again.
And that 45 minutes includes the hour-ish, 45 minutes-ish, includes the eating and pooping.
That's right.
So if your child eats for 30 minutes, they've got about another 20 minutes to stay up, and then you better start putting them back down to bed.
And you need to work sometimes. You got to work hard for them to get to bed. And the idea behind all of these 4 things is that they're all part of the bedtime situation for a newborn.
Actually, they also play into, remember how I said the happiest baby on the block?
That's right.
A great book, or if you watch the video. And I think he says the 5 S's.
We'll stop the nonsense because that, my friend, is
Number 12?
Number 12, girlfriend.
We are so psychic. It's a good thing we're married.
Number 12 is Watch the Happiest Baby on the Block by Dr. Harvey Kopp.
He is brilliant.
That guy, he is like the baby whisperer.
He is. Oh, but not the baby whisperer on Oprah. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah, you're right. That's a totally different thing.
So there's the Happiest Baby on the Block book.
Yep.
But then they made the Happiest Baby on the Block video. And to be honest, the video is really easy. You can probably rent it from your library. You might be able to even find it on YouTube. But the Happiest Baby on the Block, he goes through the 5 S's.
Mm-hmm.
And it is swaddle, swing, suck, I think I like shush, and
shake.
Yes, shake. So those are the ways to really put your baby to sleep. And the things that Blake mentioned, the rock and play, that's the swing and shake. The wubba-nub, that's the suck. The swaddle me swaddle, oh, that's the swaddle right there. And then the shush is the white noise machine.
So you don't have to sit there and go shh all day. But you will need to do that eventually, like directly into their ear. And it sounds really bad to do that, but I promise you it's not. You shush right into their ear, and at a level you think is appropriate, and it will get them to sleep. It will get them to stop crying immediately. I promise you, it will get them to stop crying.
And we can attest, now we have our second child, and we're like straight away doing everything that they said in the Happiest Baby in the Block. And I'm just going to let you listen for a second. That is the sound of no crying.
And we have 2 kids.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And one of them is sitting on Mary's lap.
We got some happy babies going on in this house. And just know it's impossible to spoil a new baby, especially in the first 3 months, which is like how long they say a baby's a newborn for versus an infant.
Correct.
So just love on that baby. Take the time to give the attention of the swaddling and the cuddling and the holding and the rocking and the shushing, because that baby's only going to be small for a little time.
Yeah, he's only going to be that little for so long. So you can spoil him. Trust me. He's going to want to be cuddled, and you're not going to like give him like a problem. You're not going to make him like want to come home from college every single day if you hold him in your arms every minute. Even if your wife says, "I want my baby to sleep on my chest," or even if I want a bed share, you can do that for the first 3 months, and it's going to be fine.
You got to do what's best for your family. That's one of the best pieces of advice that we got, was do what's best for your family, do what works. Just like Blake said in the beginning, try a bunch of stuff.
Well, that is number 13, my darling. Do what's best for your family. And I know I've already said this, but I'm going to reiterate it. Do what's best for you. Whatever. Take advice from people. Listen, I get it. Listen to them. Get the ideas. Get the motivations. Read the books. Watch Dr. Harvey Kopp on The Happiest Baby in the Block. Do all that crap. Get Aunt Ida to tell you that in 1945, she decided that she was going to put maple syrup on the bottom of her kid's foot because she had a cold and it made him feel better. I don't know. Whatever people around you are telling you what to do, listen to it. Because eventually, you're probably going to try it. And eventually, it's probably going to work. But some of it ain't going to work. And if it doesn't work, who cares? Just do what you do. Don't listen to nobody if you don't want to. Just do what you want to do, because that's for your family.
That's right.
That's in the end, that's all you got to do. That's it. All right, my darling, are you ready to get into the wines of the week?
You got it.
All right, let's do it. All right, you want to know my wine of the week?
Yeah.
My wine of the week is this.
Better not be me.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not you. My wine of the week is the fact that my son is learning how to say words, and he's saying them incorrectly.
Oh, he really is.
So, listen, this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to say it, and we're going to get it over with.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm saying it, and we're just going to get it over with. My son has decided that he can't say the words like chocolate or cracker.
Blended words. So like a ch or a cr sound. So CRCH comes out like an F.
So I woke up the other day, and he was running around the house, and he wanted chocolate pancakes. But he was running around the house going, "Dada, fucking pancakes, fucking pancakes." And listen, to me, it's hysterical. But I know that people are going to hear this, and they're going to think that I'm telling him how to say fucking pancakes. And I promise you, I swear to God, I'm not telling him how to say fucking pancakes.
Yep.
How about you, my love? You got a wine?
Okay. That's a very good one. I'm embarrassed. My kid goes to the park and he's trying to say red truck. He doesn't.
You can only imagine what he says.
Fire truck? Nope. Doesn't sound like that either. And he is so proud when he talks about those trucks, man.
Oh, man.
That is a good wine.
All right, you got a win?
My win.
Hold on. Now you can tell me your win.
My win is that my toddler son, who's 2, he's turning out to be a great big brother. He is very protective. I think, it's part of his disposition. He turned from colic to angel after a very long time.
Finally.
But he's a very sweet child. But we read a lot of different books to him, so as Daniel Tiger has a baby. Well, he doesn't have a baby. That would be an interesting book. But Daniel Tiger's new baby sister and a whole bunch of other books, I'm a big brother and meeting the new baby or waiting for baby. Books like that we really drilled into my son. A lot of, we don't touch the baby. We are gentle with the baby. Mm-hmm. Babies cry and it's okay. You can sing a song to the baby. Mommy has to hold the baby. Things like that just, I think, actually prepared him in some way, shape, or form. He still thinks that babies are in everyone's belly. So he'll pick up his shirt and point to his belly and say that he has a baby inside. So he doesn't quite get that part. But the part is that he is loving. He is kind. He is so sweet with his sister. Whenever her pacifier falls out of her mouth and she's crying, he goes and attempts to put it back in. It's really, really sweet. So that's my win, is that they are already starting to have a beautiful sibling relationship. And they won't even remember this. This is too young.
Nope, not at all. That's okay, though.
That's why I'm taking pictures.
All right, my love, Dexter me. God, I missed that music. It's been, oh my God, it's so great.
So true.
It's awesome. I almost want to do it again, but I'll hold off. I'll hold off.
You're okay.
I'm gonna take the parent pick.
Okay.
I'm taking the parent pick because this is for dads.
Yes.
All right. Listen, what I want you to do is I want you to go and get the Caveman's Guide to Pregnancy. Now, I know this is for new dads, and you're like, well, why am I reading a pregnancy book? But it's got these great chapters on what to do after you have the baby. And it tells you literally step by step the things that you should be doing. It's called the Caveman's Guide to Pregnancy. And go get that book and read it. Sit on the John and read a couple of chapters a day and read it. The other thing that I have for you, honestly, is go to my wife's blog. And I know this is very self-serving, and it definitely is. But go to my wife's blog. It's called tallmomtinybaby.com. And it's not just about women and moms. It's about dads. I write on it too. It serves as a good forum. Like, this podcast is almost like a sister to Tall Mom Tiny Baby, or a brother to Tall. They're like companion pieces. Go to tallmomtinybaby.com and read everything that Mary or I have put up on that website. Legitimately. Like, it is all about how to deal with your baby after you've had a baby. And it's such a great resource, whether it's about food or sleep or babysitters or whatever you can think of. It is on that blog. And all you got to do is just go to the blog, hit the search tab. Anything that you want to look up, you can hit the search tab, put it in, and I guarantee you there's an article about it written by my wife or myself or a guest that we've had on tallmomtinybaby.com. So that, my dear friend, the new dad that is listening to this podcast, is what you should do. Go to get the book and go to that website, tallmomtinybaby.com.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. We're done. We are done. But we are not done having this conversation. So Blake is a new dad for a second time. We have a bunch of friends who are having babies for the first time. And we want to hear your tips. If you have any questions, if you disagree or agree with anything Blake said, we want to hear from you guys. So you could reach out to us on pretty much all forms of social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We check those very frequently. And our handle is ParentCast. So just one word, ParentCast.
Mm-hmm. Or you can go to the website, ParentCastPodcast.com, and there you will find all of our great episodes and all of our great interviews that we've had about colic and sleep and breastfeeding and all these really cool things. You can find it there, all at ParentCastPodcast.com. And if you want to get in touch with us via the email machine, you can get in touch with us by putting in ParentCast@gmail.com. And now today we don't have any listener feedback. We don't have any emails to really share because we have been missing for so long. But I think we're going to end up trying to do an every week podcast from here on out. What do you say, my love?
We are. Now that I am no longer dealing with the millions of ways that I was sick in my pregnancy, we are definitely going to be back on the mic chatting about all things parent related.
All right, Kate, you want to close out the show?
You got it.
All right, let's do it. Well, that was a good show, my love. What do you say we talk about what's coming up next week? You want to know what it is?
Yes.
It is all about maternity photography.
Maternity photos? You mean people get pictures when they're pregnant?
That's right. That's what happens. And we're going to be talking about it with a very good photographer. Lisa Gendron from here in Rhode Island.
Yes.
And we still have yet to perfect the idea of closing the show out within the music time frame.
Listen, we were a little rusty. We had a baby. It's
I know.
Okay.
You have mom brain. I'm trying to find out all the answers to life's mysteries.
And you don't have old man strength yet.
I don't have old guy strength yet. If I had old guy strength, I could probably close out the show within the time frame of the music stopping.
Yes.
That's okay. I've missed you guys. I've missed you so much.
Are you talking to me?
I missed you. I missed the listeners. I missed all of yous.
All right.
All right, guys.
I love you for real.
My name's Blake.
My name's Marie.
You've listened to ParentCast.